Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello and good evening. Okay, let's give it up for those Christmas decorations because I just saw them go up tonight, and I was like, oh my God, this new building's amazing. And I really want to start off by saying thank you to our great Senator, Josh Becker. It's a tremendous honor to be sworn in by you because I am so proud of the legislation that you're pushing and passing in Sacramento. I want to give a big shout out to dozens of city leaders, of former mayors, 3 of them who are still on our council, and who have taught me so much over the past 3 years. And boy, have I grown. And I want to give a shout out to the hundreds of city staff. This event, the progress that South San Francisco has made, and the success of our many programs could not have been possible with the hundreds of city staff who work for South San Francisco. And I want everyone here to give the loudest round of applause you can tonight to all of our city staff. And I want to thank our staff also for your guidance, knowledge, and support. The support you've given us as a council members and to the community for truly making South City such a great place. And I want to give a shout out to the thousands of community members who put their faith in me, at the time a literal college student, some may say fresh out of the womb, to join my colleagues here on the City Council. And most importantly, I want to give a big thank you to my mother, who's right there, who, there she is. Earlier today, she was in the South San Francisco Senior Center rounding up her friends who play ping pong with her to bring them over here. So thank you so much. And for those of you, this is a funny thing I like to tell everyone, is that when I was born, my mother drove herself to the hospital to give birth to me. What a badass. So thank you so much for being my #1 fan for all these last 24 years. I'm looking forward to so many more. Thank you. I've shared my story with many of you in this room. It's an important part of who I am and why I do what I do. When I was 5, my father suffered a traumatic injury that left him paralyzed from the waist down. And my mother had to work 2 jobs in order to make ends meet, in addition to raising me and caring for my father. When my parents could not find childcare, I would oftentimes be found in the break room of Kaiser because I was 5 and that was our family's only option. Growing up, that made me want to make sure that no other child and no other family had to go through the same hardships that our family did. It made me want to study biology, to learn how people can heal from traumatic injuries, and it made me want to work to make sure that our society worked for everyone, leaving no one or no community behind. Thank you. Three years ago, I came home from college, but not to a graduation party or a fancy cake. I came home in the middle of my junior year to a global pandemic that wreaked havoc throughout all of our communities. I came home to the murder of George Floyd with widespread calls for public safety reform. And I came home to a community that sought justice and change to a status quo that had failed them. So like anyone else would, I dropped my college thesis and ran for city council, becoming our city's youngest ever and first openly LGBTQ city council member in city history. And while I may be the first, I will definitely not be the last, let me tell you. Because as we climb that mountain and as we go through those journeys, I am not pulling up the ladder, I am putting my hand down to take everyone with me. That is important. And tonight, I'm so honored to continue my service to South San Francisco as your mayor. South San Francisco is a city of firsts. the first in the county to pass a $5 hazard pay ordinance for our essential workers, the first in the county to pass a guaranteed income pilot program, the first to pass a child care master plan and demand universal child care, the first to pass an Article 34 authorization, that was Measure AA, which passed by 20 points last year, by the way, to allow us to build city-owned affordable housing or social housing. And not the first, but one of the first to get our housing element certified by the state of California. That's important. And our city became one of the few in the entire state to be designated as a pro-housing city by our governor for our efforts to ensure that everyone in South City has a safe and warm place to call home. And that pro-housing designation is important because that means when we apply for funding for affordable housing and for infrastructure, we are towards the top of the line, towards the front of the line. Don't be fooled by the narrative that our community is divided. I am proud to say that South City is united. You can tell because we aren't ripping each other's throats apart this evening. We are getting things done, we are leading, and we are showing up as an example for all cities across the nation to follow. But our work is not done yet. Even in our small but mighty city, we see wide disparities in wealth and opportunity. We are an economic engine known for the wealth of our industry and biotech, but at the same time, we are a community with children who go unfed and families unhoused. We are a city of million-dollar homes, but at the same time, we are a community of working families, immigrants, and people living paycheck to paycheck. I have a firm belief that the prosperity of our community can be shared among all of our residents, not just a limited few. Thank you. People often ask me what my priorities will be as mayor. And to answer that, I want you all to take a minute, or a few seconds, to put yourselves into the shoes of our youth and to envision the community you want them to inherit. What house will they live in? What will the climate be like? What schools will they go to? When they retire, where will they go? And now I want to ask you a few questions. Do all our residents deserve a stable place to call home? Do they? Do our future generations deserve to breathe clean air and drink clean water? Do all our workers deserve to retire in security and dignity? And do all our children deserve access to high-quality education and care starting from birth to high school and beyond? These children, they are our future teachers, our future nurses, doctors, firefighters, and officers. South City has for decades been a city with immense opportunity since its founding, and I hope to continue that legacy. These aren't just political problems. We have a moral obligation to our children to foster a community where everyone can thrive, where they can afford a home, with clean air to breathe and water to drink, where they can raise their families and be proud to call South City their home. But I cannot do it alone. Us 5 on the council, we cannot do it alone. It is going to take everyone in this room. It's going to take a movement, everyone in this room, but also in the overflow room, because I know you're there, to come together and to chart a path to a better future that we all know is possible. The path will not be easy, but it will be necessary. To tackle tough problems, we must have courageous conversations. We must be ready to lead and to take risks. And we must have the courage to stand up against large special interests. Every day, we must commit ourselves to getting it right for the next generation. Thank you, and let's get to work.